we started with cobalt. Now we're doing lithium, we're doing options, and we're seeing a growth market there, particularly when you look at the price of a battery. If you take cobalt, lithium, and nickel, we came up with this idea called the virtual battery. So you can buy the actual ingredients of the battery, because in some cases it's 30 to 40% of the cost of a battery is the actual raw materials, and it's about 20-30% of the cost of a car. So it's a very important part of a car, and particularly when nickel prices went through the roof, the battery prices all went up.
So it's a good time to be friends with Anna Chadwick, huh?
That's right. And obviously we're seeing companies coming into this space, particularly some of the financial players and the funds who actually don't produce cars, but they think it's a good story for their investors, because it's EVs, it's green, it's a green story. So we're getting more car production companies involved in that because it's a good story for investors.
It's a good ESG move.
Yeah. The nice thing is, because cobalt, most of it's produced in the DCR, you can't really trade the physical cobalt because you've got two big traders who own most of the production. So having a paper instrument, there's no risk of defaults or companies not supplying the stuff when you can trade the index. Yeah. And then going through the other stuff, what we do, the fertilizers has not been as volatile this year. We've seen China 1 month say we're not going to export fertilizers, and then all of a sudden it goes up. And then for the Indian tender the other month, they provided 30% of the imports. So that's been volatile. It's a lower prices today, around $300. But it's a very important part of the cost of grain, which is around 20%. And then emissions, obviously my favorite, because it took me a year to understand what it was. Yeah, a lot of groans and grinds. So, it is a complicated market because we've got the compliance market, which is the EUAs in Europe, and then we've got the voluntary market, which is kind of global. And you've got lots of different products out there which have all different points. But the fact is, there has been a little bit of reduction in Europe in terms of global emissions, and there's been more of a switch into renewables. But you've seen people who are long, the EUAs to go short. So we've had volatility there from $67 to $102. And the shipping company has to wake up to this kind of price swing because they're going to have to get involved in it. And we've been pushing the consultancy side and trying to help people understand how to trade it and be green and make money. And, we're there to help you, for next year when it actually starts and you have to register what you have to do. In closing, it's been a very interesting, next year is Year of the Dragon. That's the wood dragon. So apparently a dragon's very intellectual, takes advantage of things at any chance, and it's good fortune. The tiger, which I was born, is the risk taker, so I get gobbled up by the dragon.